include masks, figures, textiles, jewelry, ritual objects, and more. The gallery also features original works by local artists and artisans. More at josephparkgallery.com.
From 9, first warning weather, mostly sunny, hot and humid today, getting up to 89 degrees. Some isolated showers and storms tonight, a low of 71.
Support comes from Weebold Studio. The artists of Weebold Studio repair, restore, and conserve original paintings and frames, fine metal items, collectibles, antiques, family heirlooms, and items of sentimental value. Appointments are available. You can visit Weebold.com to learn more. That's WIEBOLD.com.
On the next Fresh Air, David Sedaris. His latest collection of personal essays is now out on paperback. Several of them are about his lifelong combative relationship with his father and what it was like at the end when his father was in assisted living and in the ICU. His father died 2 years ago at the age of 98. Join us.
Tune in for Fresh Air today at 1 o'clock on WVXU and WMUV. Support for NPR comes from this station and from Sony Pictures Classics presenting The Miracle Club, a new film starring Maggie Smith, Kathy Bates, and Laura Linney, about 4 women who travel to Lourdes in search of a miracle, now playing only in theaters. From Procter & Gamble, maker of ZzzQuil Pure Z's gummies, designed with melatonin for occasional sleeplessness to help people fall asleep naturally. Learn more at zzquill.com. From Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments' team of specialists offer guidance on investing, retirement income, and Social Security. FisherInvestments.com. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. And from listeners like you who donate to this NPR station.
It's Morning Edition from NPR News. I'm Steve Inskeep.
And I'm A. Martinez. For many people, the taste of summer is an icebox cake, whipped cream layered with cookies. And one of the most iconic versions features a very particular cookie, Nabisco famous chocolate wafers. But earlier this year, after nearly 100 years of production, Nabisco stopped making them. Dina Pritchett has the story of the icebox cake and what fans of those chocolate wafers are doing now.
People who love icebox cakes really love icebox cakes.
The cookies literally absorb the whipped cream and turn into like the softest, most delicious, almost like a cake pudding, like so unbelievably good.
Jessie Sheehan wrote a whole cookbook about icebox cakes. She has recipes using lemon crisps and pairing ginger snaps with chai whipped cream. But her favorite is the classic, using Nabisco famous chocolate wafers.
You could eat that cookie by itself. It just has the most delicious, kind of slightly bitter, but still a teeny bit sweet chocolate flavor.
Combine that bittersweet cookie with sweet cream, let it sit in the fridge for a few hours, and it's done. The popularity of these desserts dates back to the rise of refrigeration.
Frigidaire, division of General Motors, presents America's #1 refrigerator.
Part of early refrigerator promotion included corporate cookbooks, which contained recipes for icebox cakes.
They want people to value the refrigerator, so they have to kind of create a new cuisine that makes people think of the refrigerator as indispensable.
Historian Megan Elias directs the Food Studies program at Boston University.
Refrigerators don't get affordable till the 1920s, and then that's when you really begin to see the craze of the icebox cakes.
Elias says early recipes used sponge cake or ladyfingers, things people had to bake at home. But when packaged cakes and cookies came along, the icebox cake got even easier to make. Eventually, the National Biscuit Company, aka Nabisco, printed a recipe right on the package of their famous chocolate wafers, which became a classic.
It's not a bottom-up recipe. It's very much like green bean casserole, where it comes from the corporation. And yet, it becomes so much part of people's lives. It's something they remember from childhood.
So what do you do when one of the main ingredients of that childhood memory disappears from the shelves? There are other chocolate cookies, Oreos, chocolate shortbreads, but devotees of the classic version say those don't have quite the same flavor or texture. So to make this no-bake summertime cake, some are resorting to turning on their ovens. Baker and cookbook author Zoe Francois came up with a recipe that she says is pretty darn close to the original.
I landed on using cake flour because these cookies really have a delicate snap to them.
and then a cocoa powder that adds the right flavor and color for that zebra striped effect in the finished cake.
I use a Dutch process, which is a darker cocoa.
Francois also adds baking soda because the alkalinity makes the dough even darker. Food science. Bake the cookies up, spread on the whipped cream, and it's an icebox cake. These current versions, with homemade cookies or alternate brands, may taste slightly different, but they're just the latest chapter in the same story. Historian Megan Elias.
So it's a good story because it's about industrialization and food, but also it's just about delight, right?
And about a dessert that is perfect on a hot summer day, no matter what the cookie. For NPR News, I'm Dina Pritchett.
If you want to make your own chocolate wafers, Zoe Francois' recipe is on our website, npr.org.
It's Friday, which is when we hear StoryCorps. Johnny Itliong grew up in California's grape fields in the 1960s. His father, Larry Itliong, was one of many Filipino migrant farm workers who worked for less than minimum wage. Now, in 1965, Larry helped lead what was called the Delano Grape Strike. Johnny Itliong came to StoryCorps to share stories about his dad with his own son.
One of his nicknames was Seven Fingers because when he was up working in Alaska, he lost 3 of his fingers. He was small in stature, but he was a very, very strong man. He always wore pocketed shirts, thick Ray-Ban glasses, and he would always have his cigar, his cubanos. I remember I would have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and we'd jump in the back of this truck, load it up full of boxes, and we stack them maybe 10, 12 feet high. I could carry about 8 of them stacked up. There were so many good men living in box carts, sheds, whatever they can make out of the elements. And I remember maybe one guy had one suit, and whoever would get a date would wear that suit. So they would share the suit. 20, 30 guys, that's the brotherhood. And when they would pass, they didn't have family in the United States. They had no one to say goodbye to them. And it was just us, me, my father, and my brother. The only time we ever received flowers was at their funeral. Men who worked the fields fed the United States.
What memories do you have of the picket lines?
At 5 years old, I remember running around getting the sticks. I would bring sticks to the ones who were nailing the picket signs. I think that was probably like my earliest memory. My father stood up for the people who need help. He sacrificed a lot of his family time to make a better world for us. We have big shoes to walk in. I don't feel like I'm really close. But your demeanor reminds me of him because he was very calm. He always listened. When it was time for him to speak, what he said was important. And already he followed those footsteps.
Johnny and Alex Itliong remembering Johnny's father there. Their conversation is at the Library of Congress.
Major support for StoryCorps comes from Subaru, featuring the 2024 Subaru Outback Wilderness. With standard symmetrical all-wheel drive and all-terrain tires, it's designed for paths not yet taken. Learn more at subaru.com/wilderness. And from Dignity Memorial, helping families plan life celebrations now so their loved ones are protected later. Because nobody should have to plan for a loss while they're experiencing one. Learn more at dignitymemorial.com.
It's NPR News.
Earlier this year, severe floods hit California's Central Valley, devastating farms and homes. Some of those most affected were immigrant farm workers.
We need to have a different approach to economic and climate resilience if we're going to protect the rights and the well-being of those that are furthest on the margins.
That story on the next All Things Considered from NPR News.
Listen to All Things Considered this afternoon at 4 o'clock with your host Bill Reinhardt on WVXU and WMUV. Mostly sunny, hot, and humid today, a high of 89. It's 74 in Cincinnati, 72 in Dayton.
Support comes from Music and Event Management Inc., presenting Tedeschi Trucks Band with Ziggy Marley at PNC Pavilion on July 18th, featuring an even longer set and more collaborations than ever before. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com and the PNC Pavilion box office. Tedeschi Trucks Band and Ziggy Marley live in Cincinnati, July 18th.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Dave Mattingly. The Biden administration says it plans to erase $39 billion in federal student loans in a move the Education Department says is unrelated to a recent ruling by the U.S. Supreme Court. The government cites errors made through the mismanagement of income-driven repayment plans. It says many borrowers who made student loan payments for 20 years or more should have qualified to have their debts eliminated. Nearly 100 million people in the U.S. are now under heated warnings or advisories. They extend from Washington state to Alabama, along with South Florida. The extreme heat covers nearly all of California, Nevada, Arizona, and Texas. The National Weather Service says Phoenix has had afternoon highs of about 110 for 2 straight weeks. Alicia Dempster is a tourist from Scotland visiting Death Valley National Park in California.
It's very hot. I mean, especially when there's a breeze, you would think that maybe that would give you some slight relief from the heat, but it just really does feel like an air-cooled blow dryer just going back in your face.
Palm Springs, California is forecast to hit 116 today. For the first time in more than a half-century, Hollywood actors and writers are on strike at the same time. Actors with SAG-AFTRA walked off the job this morning after the union and the major film and TV studios failed to reach agreement on a contract. This is NPR News.
Good morning. It's 8:32 and 74 degrees in Cincinnati, 72 in Dayton. This is 91.7 WVXU. I'm Tana Weingartner. Sports betting is coming to Kentucky, and officials are getting some additional help when it comes to dealing with the legal requirements. Governor Andy Beshear yesterday signed an executive order creating the Sports Wagering Advisory Council. At a news conference, the governor said this will help the Commonwealth's Horse Racing Commission with additional expertise.
See, right now the commission has traditionally been about regulation of the horse industry, and it in many ways is the perfect area to house sports betting. But we recognize that having others that have knowledge and direct knowledge of the sports betting industry can provide good advice to the commission.
Retail locations for sports wagering are set to open September 7th, just in time for NFL kickoff, tailgating, and college football season. Governor Beshear is running for re-election against Republican Attorney General Daniel Cameron in November. There's added excitement this weekend as the Reds take on the Brewers and induct 3 members into their Hall of Fame. WVXU's Ann Thompson reports.
All-star pitchers Bronson Arroyo and Danny Graves will get the red jacket, along with the family of longtime Reds executive and general manager Gabe Paul. He died at the age of 88, but not before strengthening and diversifying the Reds' talent pool. Hall of Fame Executive Director Rick Wall says the pregame Saturday induction is on top of the baseball the Reds are playing now.
A lot to do and be around. Certainly encourage people to come down to the ballpark and watch the Reds take on the Brewers. The first place Reds take on the second place Brewers. Make sure that that's clear. We don't get to say that very often, and it's a fun time to be inducting players when the Reds are hot like they are.
This weekend, fans can also mingle with dozens of previous inductees at the Hall of Fame. A schedule of events is at WVXU.org. And Thompson 91.7 WVXU.
The forecast today, mostly sunny skies, hot and humid, a high of 89. Some isolated showers and storms are possible tonight with clouds building and a low of 71. There's a low and severe weather threat tomorrow. We'll have rounds of showers and storms, likely a high of 82. It's 74 in Cincinnati, 72 in Dayton.
Support comes from 4546 Fine Men's Apparel, Hyde Park Square, where you can find new summer casual clothing from Billy Reed, Robert Barrett, Scott Barber, and shoes from Olokai and Johnston & Murphy.
Support for NPR comes from this station and from Easy Catering, committed to helping companies find food for meetings and team lunches. With catering menus from restaurants nationwide, online ordering, and 24/7 live support. EasyCater.com. From Zoom, Zoom One is designed for AI-powered collaboration across phone, video, messaging, whiteboards, and work apps, keeping global teams connected. One platform to connect, Zoom One. And from the Doris Duke Foundation.
It's Morning Edition from NPR News. I'm Steve Inskeep in Washington, D.C.
And I'm A. Martinez in Culver City, California. Black Lives Matter is marking its 10th anniversary this week. The movement began in the wake of the acquittal of the shooter who killed Trayvon Martin, an unarmed black teenager. The police killings of Michael Brown and George Floyd, among others, put BLM at the center of the push for criminal justice reform. Joining us now is Black Lives Matter co-founder Aya Tometi. Aya, if you could take us back 10 years when the movement first began, what was its mission? What did it set out to do?
Its mission was really to ensure that the voices and concerns of black people were being heard. We were tired of the countless numbers of people that were being killed. If it was vigilantes, if it was law enforcement, if it was security guards, we were just sick and tired of hearing these stories in our communities. We were sad, we were devastated, and we knew that we had to take the tradition of community organizing that leaders like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and many others have taught us, and we needed to remind the larger public that we actually have something that we can do when we're faced with these types of challenges, that we can organize, that we can harness the voices, the concerns, the work of our community, and we can step out with courage and do something to change it.
How hard has it been?
You know what, it's been a very difficult journey. I won't lie. There's been an uphill battle to ensure that our voices were heard. We took to social media back in 2013 because we weren't being heard by traditional media, to be quite frank. We weren't hearing our stories. We weren't seeing the media coverage. We knew that we had to use the tools of our time to ensure that our concerns were being, heard, and we were sharing those stories amongst ourselves. And we saw the rise in our voices. We saw that people were concerned, and then we saw that media began to pay attention to our stories. And I think that was very important because we saw it pivot, if you will, where our voices were finally being amplified and taken more seriously. And over the years, we've seen many more people join us. Millions and millions of people have joined around the world to declare that Black lives do matter and that we want a different kind of world. We want a world where we have multiracial democracies that work for all of us. And it's very heartening to see that this movement is actually, in fact, very multiracial. It's very multifaceted. And it's not just about criminal justice or criminal justice reform, but it's about the quality of life that Black people should have in every sphere of life. So if it's the healthcare industry, if it's our workplace, if it's the education, everywhere, we're seeing that people are understanding that this is about Black lives, period, no matter what, because racism is embedded in every facet of our society, and so we require that we have transformation and changes in every facet of our society.
In 2021, you said that the Biden administration has a lot of work to do and has a long way to go on issues important to Black Lives Matter. How does the Biden administration look to you today?
You know what, the Biden administration still has a long way to go, but the truth is that we are seeing that even just, a little over a week ago, we saw the Supreme Court overturn affirmative action. We saw this pushback against the gay community, the queer community, LGBTQ folks. We've seen so many
reminisce for a spell, or shall I say think back 22 years ago to keep it on track. The birth of a child on the 8th of October. A toast when my granddaddy came sober. Count all the fingers and the toes. Now I suppose you hope the little black boy grows. 18 years younger than my mama, but I really got beatings with the girl of trauma. In single parenthood, there I stood. By the time she was 21, had another one. This one's a girl. Let's name her Pam. Same father as the first, but you don't give a damn. Irresponsible, plain not thinking. Papa said chill, but the brother keep winking. Still he won't down, you will tear out your hide. On your side while the baby make a slide. The mama got wise to the game. The youngest of 5 kids, hun, here it is. After 10 years without no spouse, mama's getting married in the house. Listen, positive over negative, for the woman a master. Mother Queen's rise in the chapter. Deja vu, tell you what I'm gonna do when they reminisce over you, my God. When I date back, I recall a man off the family tree. My right hand, Papa Doc, I see. Took me from a boy to a man, so I always had a father. When my biological didn't bother taking care of this, so who am I to pick up? Not a bad ticker, but I'm clocking Pop's liver. But you can never say that his life is through. 5 kids at 21, believe he got a right to. Here we go while I check the scene with the Portuguese lover at the age of 14. The same age, front page, no fuss, but I bet you all you know they live longer than us. Never been seen out, that's where you're wrong. But give the man a taste and he's gone. Not no sleep to a jazz tune. I can hear his head banging on the wall in the next room. I get the pillow and hope I don't wake him. This man the cuss, hear it all in verbatim, telling me how to raise my boy unless he's taking over. I said, Pop, maybe when you're older. We laughed all night about the hookers at the party. My old man standing yelling, good God Almighty. Use your condom, take sips of the brew. When they reminisce over you, for real. Reminisce over you. Listen. for the dime, looking tight. Oh my. Put the sour diesel, mommy bounce it on my lap. VIP crowded, so I take it to the back.